Good morning, everyone. Firefly got beat out this morning. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everybody. It's October 1st. We've made it through September, which was beautiful, and October can be a wonderful month in Michigan. Still warm and sunny. Um, we did get the maintenance guy to lubricate the door hinges so it doesn't sound like a haunted house anymore.
Beginner court was today. It was scheduled for tomorrow.
No, she's fine. Would you see if I have any telecoms?
Yes.
Yes, we WD-40 the door. Thank you to Cole, who takes care of us here. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm still a little sad. Yesterday I talked about losing my friend. We'll have visitation Friday and a funeral Saturday, and we're working through that. His family are wonderful people, and good morning to all of them. Good morning to everybody. Michael from Netherlands, what a nice message. Our friends in California, thank you, and everybody. So,
No polygraphs.
all right, no polycops. We'll say hello to everybody, everywhere. Mike on Wacker Drive. Jill, I hope you're okay out there in Romulus. Our friends in Manton. Molly, Javier, all the people that say good morning. Eric, thank you for the nice message also. We are back to work. We got stuff to do. Judge Pattison he's having a wonderful time. Judge Stutchman checked in this morning to see if we needed anything, and we're good. He and I are here. Today he's got a docket. He had a trial scheduled and it got adjourned for, I don't exactly remember the reason, but good morning to everybody in Wasilla. I'll go there one day, just like I'm going to Hobart. Anyway, Miss Jackson's ready to go. She's lining up our customers. And so we'll start in a minute. Yesterday, I hope you all got to listen to Fun, Fun, Fun. That was an easy one. These aren't intended to be tricky or difficult. They're just songs I like. And then hopefully maybe everyone will listen to that song and we will have a common experience. The only thing in common with these is that they're songs I like. Maybe you will too. Maybe you know them. Somebody said, how many more do you have to do? I guess for the end of the term, it'll be a couple hundred. I don't have that many in my head. I'd have to look some up. All right, today's first line for all of us to share a moment of humanity is short, but pretty easy. Somewhere in the Black Mining Hills of Dakota is the opening line. And I don't know that those words were ever said before in that way. I hope you like that song. Everybody should know it. You can sing along with it. Her name was McGill and she called herself Little, but everyone knew her as Nancy. All right, you can all listen to that today and we shared a little something. All my East Coast friends, they like Thunder Road. Somewhere in the Black Mining Hills of Dakota. So we've got some other customers here and we have some that are late and some that are here early, and we'll take care of everybody that's here. Diana Opreza, you come forward, please. right to the podium there, if you would. I had them sit there because it was easier to do both of them at the same time. Good morning. Are you Diane Elizabeth Ofeza Molina?
Yes.
The file number here is 2519010T. It's a Sturgis ordinance case. You got a ticket on September 14th for driving without a valid license. Get hundreds, literally hundreds of these every year. Hardly a day ever passes that we don't have at least one of these. You know, lots of people that are driving without a license. Let's take a look at yours. Oh, my system's locked up. Tab, my on base is locked up. I shut it off and brought it back and I'm still locked out. And I can't do anything. Well, let me tell you what I do know. It's alleged that on September 14th, you were driving a car in the city of Sturgis without a valid operator's license. I need some help to get into my on base. I can't tell why it's frozen. Hardly also a day goes by that we don't have some technical problem. Technology is great until it isn't. Try that. Guess I didn't go far enough. Get a hammer. No, it's blank. Now it won't even come back up. Here we go. It's running at subsonic speed. Thank you, Lupita. You cleared it. We don't need the hammer. Let's take a look at your ticket. It was at 1 o'clock in the morning in Ottawa and Cottage Street. Let's take a look at your driving record. You have an ID, but you don't have a driver's license. Have you ever had a license?
No.
Are you trying to get your license now?
Yeah.
Or have you started the process to try to get your license?
No.
Well, let's talk about this. It's a misdemeanor, but not a very big one. It carries a fine of, let me see the way they charge this. 904A, up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Normal fine for this is $100 plus $125 state costs. Mr. George, I'm not sure there's anywhere to go here.
Miss Jackson had indicated that I believe she's going to try to get her license. So
Well, all right. It doesn't appear there's anything prohibiting you from getting a license. Some people have got old drunk driving convictions, they got too many points, or they don't have lawful residency status. You don't have any of those. You have residency status. Were you born here?
No.
But how long you been here?
I came here in 2000. Yeah.
All right. So, you got an ID, which means you got lawful residency status or citizenship. So are you willing to go to the Secretary of State and try to get your license?
Yes.
How come you never got it? Well, frankly, it's quite common. If you don't start the whole driver's ed thing when you're a student, 15 and 16, you get behind the 8 ball, and then when you're 18, people often just don't do it because it's a lot of work. You have a lot of steps to go through. You have to pass the written test, you have to pass the driving test. But if you get this ticket on your record, it'll prohibit you from getting a license for a year. And you will be on what I call the driving suspended merry-go-round and not able to get off of it. So, what's your occupation, man? What do you do for work?
I work in Middlebury.
Okay. Do you need your license to get back and forth to work?
No, my brother takes me to work.
All right, but would you like to have a license?
Yeah.
I'm gonna adjourn this 1 month. Then you're gonna go to the Secretary of State and at least start the process to get your license back. This will adjourn this until November 5th. Do you still live on South Monroe Street? Is your address correct? South Monroe Street?
Yes.
Okay. You might not get your whole license back within a month, but if you've at least started the process, the city attorney would give you some consideration and amend this to something would let you keep your license. This happens a lot, that they finally get a ticket and then it compels them to do what they need to do to get a license. That'll be a Wednesday, November 5th at 8:30 for a pretrial. Bring license information. So he's willing to adjourn this. If you pled to this, I would give you a fine and I'd give you time to pay it, but it would go on your driving record. If you can get straightened out and get a license, we're all better off. So you go to the Sturgis Secretary of State. You might need to make an appointment rather than just show up. You can just show up, but then you have to wait a long time. And find out what you need to do to start the process to get your license. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you're good to go. All right, we're still not moving very fast, but we have Nicole Jacobs. You got a ticket on September 1st, Cecilia Street and Theodore in Montville for driving without insurance. The ticket told you to be here tomorrow at 8:15, but you're here today and we'll deal with it today. No insurance is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $500 and not less than $200. I guess that's it. Doesn't carry a suspension. You indicated you don't have insurance yet.
Not yet, no.
What happened to this car?
My ex and I broke up and it's been a pretty rough year. So I've been staying a lot of different places and I thought he was still paying for the insurance at the time. And I wasn't getting any of my mail to even inform me that my insurance wasn't active at the time. So when I was stopped, I thought I had the insurance.
Well, a month has passed. This was September 1st. Now it's October 1st. But you still haven't got any insurance on the car?
No.
Just because of money?
My job hasn't opened yet.
All right. And it's not anything to be ashamed of. I call it, we get a zillion of these.
Mm.
They can now run your license plate and they can tell whether the car is insured or not. And this won't suspend your license, but it will cost you a lot of money. The minimum it will cost you is $325. And it's very dangerous to drive your car without insurance. If you get in an accident, you're not covered by no fault. You're gonna get sued by the other driver's insurance company. It happens all the time. Did you drive that Chevy here today?
No,
So the car you drove today has insurance?
no, I was dropped off today.
Okay. The bailiffs indicate you drove here today.
I don't have anyone to help me. I'm homeless right now. I'm living out of my car and I'm trying to do the best that I can. And it's been a really big time struggle. Like, that's my only place I have to even stay is my car. And when I was pulled over, I was searched. And I even told the officer, like, I have everything I own in my car because that's where I'm living. And it's just been rough.
All right. Well, it's not good to look me in the eye and lie to me. That always hurts my
I'm
feelings.
sorry.
Um, but you're just gonna get the same ticket over and over again. Where are you parking your car?
Wherever, at friends' house in their yards.
Well, you have a Jones address. Where are you from originally?
Jones.
And that was where you were when you were in this relationship that broke up?
The relationship I was in Mottville, on Silver Lake Street. Or Silver Lake Street.
Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence. Daly Street. Montville isn't very big. That's right actually in the little village.
I
But
was actually on my way to the gym to shower when I was stopped,
where was the gym?
in White Pigeon.
All right. Well, you're in dire straits. This was a month ago, so you've been just sort of hanging on the fringes from then till now?
Yeah, I just recently had a surgery. So things have been a little tough.
Well, it's gonna start to get cold. Do you have family anyplace?
My family is the reason why I'm in this situation, so it's a little rough.
All right, I don't wanna.
It's really rough.
Miss Jackson, do you have any thought here?
A pretrial with the prosecutor is all I can
Yeah.
offer at this point.
We'll set it out a month. November 5th. If you come in and show that you have insurance, they'll reduce the charge to a civil infraction.
Okay.
Which won't require that you get fingerprinted. It won't require that you pay a $325 fine. It does cost $150. But I'm not, you're gonna drive out of here and go live in your car and drive around with no insurance. It's not the same as driving suspended, but they're gonna run your plate again and you're gonna get pulled over again and you're gonna get another one of these tickets.
I was trying to get it taken care of yesterday, but something happened where I paid something and it wasn't to get my insurance reactivated.
All right, well,
Your Honor.
yes,
She said she was trying to deal with her insurance company being Geico. I think of Geico.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, she doesn't have an actual place she can go into a building and talk to a person. So there's a communication problem that she was trying to explain to me.
all right, well, let's bump this out. What is your new job that you're waiting for?
it's a dispensary in White Pigeon, space station. It's actually opening Monday, so I haven't really gotten paid yet.
All right, it's brand new.
Yeah,
Well, there are too many dispensaries. They're just killing each other, but maybe they have room for one in White Pigeon. All right. I will bump it out a month. What kind of other work have you done?
I've done a lot of office work, cleaning work too, mostly office background, like marketing.
Turn this to Wednesday, November 5th at 8:30. You're here a day early. You don't need to be here tomorrow, as your ticket says. But bring proof of insurance. Don't lie to judge. because it hurts my feelings. All right, Ms. Jacobs, I'll see you in a month and bring some proof of insurance with you, and I hope you don't get 5 more of these tickets in the meantime.
Thank you.
All right. You're good to go. All right, we're on the home stretch here. Miss Brandeis, would you come forward? Good morning. Are you Katie Brandeis?
Yes.
This is file number 251890 and 91. You got charged with no insurance under the insurance code and driving with a suspended license. No insurance, as I said, is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $500. And it carries not less than a $200 fine. They split your case up. Half of it is written under Sturgis ordinance, half is written under state statute. Let's take a look at the whole ticket. It was September 14th, at Griffith and Lakeview Street, operating with no insurance, driving while suspended, and expired plates. Those often go hand in hand. You just got the same thing. Let's take a look at that. You got allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code in another driving suspended case, and no insurance. They reduced to no proof of insurance. But you haven't paid either of those fines. So you have $474 of unpaid fines for the exact same conduct. Let's take a look at those. You really don't live in Battle Creek, do you?
No, I live in Union City.
In Union City? I think you told me that before. I see you do have a ride here today, so that's good. And I appreciate the call, the letting us know you were running a little late. Your other ticket, your license is currently suspended. Oh boy, it's even worse than I thought. You got no proof of insurance in Coldwater and another charge, and you didn't pay it. So you got a no proof of insurance in Coldwater, that's 2. Driving suspended in Battle Creek.
That one should be paid off. The one in Coldwater should be paid off. See, when I called the Secretary of State, they tell me my fine's not paid, and when I call the courthouse, they tell me my fine is paid. So I can get my license.
All right. So yeah, you got unpaid tickets in Battle Creek and Coldwater and here. So this ticket, the first one you got was in March. We had a pre-trial, you didn't show up, we did a bench warrant. Then you finally showed up, said you had paid on your Branch County tickets. And Mr. George graciously gave you a $257,326. So I gave you a $225 fine due by June 30th, and you promptly paid 0 on it. Then you got another no insurance. So at least you're here. This could result in jail. You keep getting tickets for driving with no insurance and driving suspended, and you don't pay your fines. So there's no sense to give you new fines. If I put you in jail, I could wipe out much of the fines.
I'm selling my car.
What's that?
I'm in the process of selling my car.
All right.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I did recommend to her that obviously she plead not guilty and ask for court-appointed attorney.
I think that's, normally I don't put people in jail for these driving while poor offenses. People don't have money, they can't get their plates renewed, they can't get their insurance, and they're just trying to make their way in the world. But you keep doing it, and then you don't pay the fine. So we could do up to a year in jail. You're not gonna get a year in jail for this, but you could get some. So I'm gonna appoint a lawyer. And, no, Mr. Collins has some unpaid tickets I didn't know about. You live in Branch County. I don't know why you keep driving around over here, but you seem to keep getting caught here. N Drive, Union City is your address. As I said, one of these is ordinance and one is state law. Mr. George gave you a break back in March on the driving suspended charge, and you returned the favor by not paying anything.
He advised me that he is going to help pay her fines.
All right, that'll help. Appoint an attorney. Set attorney pretrial for November 7th at 8:30. Miss Brandy's, what did I do with that? I just cut it out. I'll have the court officer take you out to the counter and we'll set a pretrial. They're gonna give you the attorney's name and number, and we could call them and make an appointment to discuss this with them.
Okay.
And it would be very helpful if you paid on your unpaid tickets. That's gonna give you a little slip of paper with the tickets on it, but
I have it, the 225.
you go with the court officer.
Can you take those two, sir?
Yes. All right, according to Shayna, I don't have any bench warrant arraignments today, but I do have a couple of show causes. And I have Larissa Reyes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. George.
Thank you, Judge.
This is file number 251200, Larissa Yvonne Reyes. Ms. Reyes is here for a show cause. She failed to appear. Let me look at this more carefully. She's here now, and apparently, according to the notes, let's go all the way back to square one. You got a ticket on June 20th for driving without a valid operator's license.
Mhm.
You live in Sturgis, but you got the ticket in Three Rivers on Douglas Avenue and Millard Street.
Yeah.
Your driving record shows that your driver's license was expired.
Mhm.
So you pled not guilty. And you're here on July 8th. No operator's license. She had an appointment with the Secretary of State and you had trouble parallel parking, so you didn't pass your driver test.
Mhm.
So I adjourned the matter till August 28th.
Yeah,
And
reason-
then you didn't show up on August 28th.
no, I did not, because I got my wisdom tooth 4 of my wisdom tooth taken out, and I told my husband if he could call, because my face was.
Well, I didn't issue a bench warrant for your arrest.
Mhm.
Normally what happens, or one option, when the people don't show up, I can issue a bench warrant. But I didn't do a bench warrant. I did an order to show cause. So that was in August. It's now October.
Mhm.
How are you doing with your license?
So I have my permit ready, but to do the driving test, they're booked. So I have it on the Monday the 6th or Tuesday the 7th. That's the only days that they had.
All right. So you didn't appear because,
Of my wisdom, because I got all my 4 wisdom teeth taken out.
you called today.
Yes, because I thought that my husband called for to reschedule on August 28th,
but I guess apparently he did not.
I don't think he did.
Mm-mm. No, that's what the other lady said when I called in today.
All right, well, you're here.
Mhm.
And I don't want to issue a bench warrant for your arrest, and I'd like you to get your license. You're missing work right now?
No, so I just came from work. They just let me leave
All right, where do you work?
in Three Rivers in Noctalis.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. Well, let's adjourn this for you to come in with your license,
Mhm.
okay? That doesn't sound like much fun getting all four of your wisdom teeth out.
Oh, no, it was painful. My face was like a chipmunk. My whole
Oh.
face was swollen. It sucks not eating, to be honest.
Well, I guess if you're gonna get it over with, get it over with. I only had one removed, so apparently I still have
Nice.
3, but they're not making me very wise. Because I had wisdom teeth out.
Did they numb your gums?
Yes, it was an upper one, so it wasn't as bad as the lower ones, but it still wasn't much fun.
Yeah, no.
All right. Defendant has appointment at SOS for October 7th. Reset pretrial with prosecutor for October 16th. Has permit now, that may be
Yes.
good enough.
I have that in my car.
How'd you get here?
I drove.
Do you have an adult with you?
No.
Well, you can't drive without a licensed driver in the car.
I thought you could drive with the permit. Oh, am I wrong?
No, you need a licensed driver in the car with you to drive with your permit.
Okay. Well, noted.
So yeah, you're gonna get another ticket. It's gonna undo what you're doing. Yeah, a permit gives you permit to drive with a licensed driver in the car to practice. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any difference between the permit and your license.
Okay.
So you've been driving back and forth to work every day illegally,
Mhm.
and you drove here illegally. So you're gonna need to get somebody to come take you back.
Okay.
Because you don't want to get another one of these. It's gonna
No.
undo what you're trying to do here.
Alright.
No, the permit allows you to drive with a licensed driver in the car.
I would have to call one of my coworkers then.
All right. Well, trust me, you don't want another one of these tickets.
Oh, no, I do not.
Don't drive
I promise I won't.
without licensed driver. Bring proof of license. All right, Ms. Reyes, I really hope you can come in with a license. I'm glad I didn't do a bench warrant. But A, your husband never called, and B, you never called either. So we went all the way from the 28th of August to the 1st of October, but we'll get this straightened out.
Mhm.
So you pass your test, bring your license in, prosecutor will amend this charge. You'll be able to keep your license and then you live happily ever after. But don't get another ticket before I see you again or undo everything you're trying to do.
Okay, perfect.
All
Thank
right,
you.
you're good to go.
Have a nice day.
All right, thank you. I'll take that with me. Let's see what else I got. Ms. Jackson, that seems to be all I got.
Okay.
Mr. George did not know the reference somewhere in the Black Mountain Hills of Dakota, but he's much younger than you and I are. I knew you would know it, but many people did. All right.
Okay. Another day down.
Yes, another day and life is a blessing. All right, we're ready to begin our probation violation hearings. Attorney Casey Strong is with us by Zoom. She is in Kalamazoo County. She's awaiting a jury verdict. And so I agreed that she could appear by Zoom. Her client is Martin Luis Carmona. That's you, sir? Your probation officer is Daniel Frazine, and he's here with us. Sorry about that. Nobody wants to watch that. It is a beautiful day out there for October 1st. This is file number, if I didn't say it, 241951. Mr. Carmona was originally charged with a felony offense of carrying concealed weapon, a 9mm handgun. That charge was reduced. The defendant was placed on probation. His probation officer, Daniel Frazine, has filed a petition alleging that he has violated the probation. He was convicted of attempted resisting, obstructing, and attempt to possess a firearm. Both of those would be 1-year misdemeanors. There was a condition of probation that he not violate any criminal law of any unit of government, that he report on a monthly basis, and they pay fines and costs, and that he not use drugs or alcohol, and test on demand, and he not use firearms or drive a vehicle. The probation violation arraignment was, I believe, it was supposed to be September 5th in front of Judge Pattison, but it ended up, I handled it. He had some new charges in file 251282FY. And bond was denied, and the PV hearing was set in this matter. According to Mr. Frazine's status report, we sort of lost track of the defendant over the summer. Sporadic, he missed reporting in September, and then he got new charges. And Mr. Frazine is recommending substantial jail time. One problem always in a probation violation case where the defendant is charged with a new crime that has not yet been resolved is anything said in the probation violation hearing could potentially be used against the defendant in the criminal case. But there were a number of separate issues here, and Daniel and I discussed it, and he went ahead and filed this violation. I believe at this point, Mr. Carmona has been in custody for 13 days. Let me make sure I had that right. Ms. Strong, what does your client wish to do here?
Your Honor, I have unfortunately not been able to speak with Mr. Carmona in depth. I was hoping that we would be able to speak via Zoom prior to this, but as for the allegations in the petition, if he is going to make admissions, which I do know would be my recommendation here, I would ask that they be no contest admissions, only for purposes of liability in any future proceedings as related to the new charges.
All right, that's wise. Mr. Carmona, would you like to speak with your lawyer?
Yes, please.
All right, this is always a bit of a security issue because the Zoom room is outside the courtroom. But Laura, would you set up a Zoom conference room?
And again, Your Honor, thank you so much for accommodating this.
Well, you didn't know you'd still be in a trial, and so it's fine. We'll make it work. But we've got extra security on the hall. So, Mr. Carmona, I'm going to have the court officer take you out in the conference room, and I'll stand outside the door while you confer with your lawyer. All right, while we're waiting, Ms. Yancey, let's take up your matter. I wouldn't know that Prosecutor Angelique Camfield has also joined us. Good morning or good afternoon. I'm not sure if anybody heard me. We need to open the Zoom conference room. The next matter we're going to address is People versus Tanya Marie Moeller. Ms. Moeller was charged with a larceny in this file, which is 23878SM. Let me click into this one. She was placed on probation, and her probation agent is Autumn Kiefer. She was charged with stealing a wallet containing $180 of cash that belonged to a Richard Roll. And she pled to that charge. We had some victim input and the defendant was placed on a probation. Ms. Kiefer filed a probation violation petition alleging that she fell off a map, essentially, that she failed to report on a monthly basis. That petition was last June. The defendant did not appear for that hearing and a bench warrant issued for her arrest. She got picked up a few weeks ago. She'd been in, I don't know where she was, but she was here. She'd been in jail in Calhoun County. She bonded out and then came here for her arraignment. She pled not guilty and asked to set the matter for a hearing. She's here with her original attorney, Jordan Hardin.
Your Honor, I was not the attorney in the underlying case.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I was not on a contract at that time.
Oh, well, all right. You're counsel now. I don't know who was your original attorney. Do you remember who your original was?
I didn't have one here.
All right. Okay. Well, Ms. Hardin, what does your client wish to do?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have a phone conference with my client a couple weeks ago, as she does live quite a distance away from Centerville and the Mendon area. Discussing the allegation of the petition, she is willing to make an admission today.
All right, let me put Ms. Strong in the break dancing room and then I'm bringing Mr. Carmona in. Sometimes we need to multitask. In fact, most days we need to multitask.
Michelle, are we good? Can you hear us?
Yes,
Okay, great. Thank you.
click the button that says join there, Mr. Carmona. All right. Returning back to the matter of Tanya Moeller. Ms. Hardin, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. The indication or the intention of my client today is that she's going to make an admission to the allegations in the petition, which was violation of Article 3, failing to report.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the status report. Her last report was April of 2024, and then we just lost track of her. So Ms. Moeller, would you acknowledge you failed to report since April of 24 until you got picked up in Battle Creek in August of 25?
I do, Your Honor.
What happened?
I ended up moving to Bay City, Michigan to attempt to take care of my mother and my stepdad, and just with the multitasking, it just wasn't a priority when it should have been.
When you got arrested in Calhoun County, did you get charged with anything there, or they just arrested you
No.
on our warrant?
On the warrant,
How'd you happen to be in Battle Creek?
well, I was coming down to deal with my daughter and actually come here and deal with some things, trying to get things squared away in St. Joe County so that I don't have to do the 3-hour drive.
Well, I put you on probation because I felt there was a drug issue here, and I also wanted to have enough time to get restitution paid to the man whose wallet you took. But I wasn't very successful at that. Ms. Kiefer, what's your recommendation here?
Well, initially she has 20 days of deferred time. This type of violation doesn't warrant 20 days. She served 4 days in Calhoun County that I verified. She unfortunately hasn't paid any fines and costs at all in this case. So my recommendation is for the 4 days of time served for her to pay the $325, which removes the oversight fees of probation and revoked from the probation.
Ms. Harden, having that in mind, what would you like to say to that?
Your Honor, we were going to ask for the court to consider her circumstances. I was not aware of the time she'd done in Calhoun County, so the new recommendation for time served and just pay the remainder of that restitution and court costs, we would ask the court to adopt that recommendation from Ms. Kiefer.
Ms. Canfield, do you have an opinion regarding this?
I do, Your Honor. I struggle with these types because it doesn't appear that there's a new offense or any criminal conduct, at least that we're aware of, that would have brought her before Calhoun County or this court again. However, if she was moving to Bay City, that's something that she should have kept Ms. Kiefer aware of. Probation could have potentially been transferred there if this court was willing to do so and they accepted, or perhaps even a phone report could have been arranged, but she didn't make effort to even comply in that regard. So here I understood she did 4 days and there's no new offenses, but when you just abscond and have to be picked up in order to come deal with things, I think that perhaps maybe a little bit more than the 4 days served is warranted for just snubbing her nose at this court. And frankly, Ms. Kiefer, who through her report made every attempt to help her report on several occasions and had to reach out to her. She failed to report in March of last year. She reported in April and not thereafter. So, I mean, she was giving her the benefit of the doubt and she didn't give the same respect back to this court or Ms. Kiefer.
Yes. Let me bring Ms. Strongest back. To back all the way up, this crime offended my sensibilities. This handicapped man left his wallet in a cart at Myers. You took it. You lied about it. You minimized it and took his money. Mr. Ohl left his wallet in one of the motorized carts. He was with his healthcare worker. He had $180 plus all his ID, which by the way has never been recovered. That's a huge pain to lose your driver's license, your credit cards, your social security information, your insurance. So they watched the footage and they saw you take his wallet. First you said you didn't take the wallet, then you said you did take the wallet and you gave it to a Walmart employee in the parking lot, which you didn't. You took his wallet and left and kept his money and all his identification. I thought you got a huge gift when I put you on this probation. I wanted to get the guy's money repaid. You repaid us by doing zero. And then interesting, when it comes time to get out of jail, you come up with money to post a surety bond. You can't pay 1 cent to us or to this man's restitution, but when it comes the difference of you sitting in jail and getting out, you come up with enough cash money to post a surety bond. So you deserve more than 4 days in jail. You deserve what I ordered in the first place. As I said, this offended me right from the get-go. My judgment was 6-month probation, 21 days minus 1, hanging 20 days over your head. You were supposed to pay restitution and court costs and other expenses, of which you paid none. I also barred you from Walmart for a year. So having said all that, what would you like to say to me?
First, I apologize to the court's on probation for having life problems. As of September 9th or September 10th, I am now working. If my check deposited on Wednesday mornings, $200 would have already been paid, but it doesn't until after midnight. So I can't pay anything until tomorrow.
All right, fair enough. Can you get his driver's license and social security
My s-
card and his? Yeah, you threw somebody else under the bus. This
My
was what-
son threw all that away, or I don't know what was happened to it after it got in his hands.
Yes,
But I pled guilty because I am the one that took it out of the court. The cart there at Walmart.
well, yeah, you did.
Well, my son's also 39 years old at the time.
Yeah, you got very little responsibility for this. The more you say, the more I want to give you the balance of 21 days in jail.
I would appreciate not, Your Honor. I have a
Yes.
mother and stepdad that I need to provide care for.
Yes, I'm gonna order. You spent 1 + 4, 10 days in jail, credit 5, leaving 5 days to serve. I'm waiving all your fines and costs except a $200 restitution. You're going to jail right now.
I have,
You can go for 90 days if you'd like. You're going to
No,
jail
Your
right now.
Honor.
I don't want to argue about it.
I would
There's a
also,
consequence.
nope, I would just like to make a statement.
I don't want to hear it. Thank you. You can go with the officer.
There goes my.
There is a consequence
Well,
to our actions, and one just landed on you.
I agree to that. Can you grab my belongings?
Judge,
Yes?
right now I don't have staffing to move both of these, so.
All right, I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Carmona, would you have a seat? Joe, I apologize. That's not very good security policy. I'm doing the best I can, so thank you for your help. I frankly thought we were gonna do them by Zoom, but I didn't think about it, calling them off. All right, we're gonna return to the matter of Martin Carmona, which is 241951. He's been afforded an opportunity to discuss this case in a private breakout room with his attorney. Ms. Strong, what does your client wish to do?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is willing to plead no contest to the petition. We are respectfully requesting of Mr. Frazine in the court that Article 11 be removed for possible liability in his next case. We do believe that the Article 1, 3, 5, 8, and 10, a no contest plea to those articles would be grounds for revocation. He understands that. He does understand the recommendation from the probation department and takes responsibility for that. We're just trying to minimize his exposure in his next case, as I don't know the facts of that case.
All right, we're gonna take out the admission that you possessed a firearm or drove, but the other clauses of the petition did not violate any law of any criminal unit of government, failed to report, failed to pay fines and costs, failed to test. Do you admit by no contest that you did not comply with those terms of your probation? All right, you do have a right to have a hearing on this, certainly, and your lawyer is here, Casey Strong. At that hearing, it'd have to be established beyond a preponderance that you violated the order. You also can plead no contest or guilty. By pleading no contest, you don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny what happened, and you would allow that this admission enter. With that in mind, Mr. Frazine, what's your recommendation here?
Well, Your Honor, I'm not being aware, but I do understand the no contest plea. But this officer does have reasonable belief that he did violate number 1, and as well as Articles 11. So though we do not have an admission on that, I would ask that the court do consider that, especially when you consider how he got on this probation and what it was involved, weapons, etc. So there's a repeat dangerous pattern here in criminal history. He has 2 previous failed probations. And that's why I recommend when you have new charges with weapons, it's very concerning. And he was driving. At least I have a reasonable belief to believe that he was driving after speaking with the officer. So refusal to test. He did, I will say, in his defense, the good thing is he did get his anger management class done. So that is a positive. That's a big step, but obviously in the scheme of things, I'm not sure how much we're learning in the future, but hopefully with each time he's involved with criminals, hopefully it takes a little bit more, he can apply towards future actions and decisions. But that's why I recommended that when you look at the escalation of sentencing and what was going on with this, that's why I recommended the deferred days plus the remainder of the maximum for this statute, Your Honor.
Ms. Strong, you wish to speak to that?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for turning to me. I have spoken with Mr. Carmona. He understands, while I'm not going to speak to his new charges and neither is he understands that in this case, he was given a huge break with the offer from the prosecutor's office and the opportunity to be placed on a term of probation. He understands the consequences of violating his probation and understands that the court is going to impose a punishment. We would ask that the court consider the 183 days in its excess and choose a sentence that is lower than that to allow him to seek employment. He's lost his job due to the incarceration, but he is not minimizing what happened. He's making a no contest admission, but he's not minimizing his role in the failed probation. I would ask the court to consider that as evidence of his position on this. He's willing to take the consequence from the court.
Ms. Canfield, do you have any input?
Your Honor, I think under the circumstances and my reviewing of the case summary of the alleged behavior in the new offense, which indicates that he was stopped for a brake light violation, slow to pull over, had open alcohol in the vehicle. Subsequent to discovering that and conducting a search, they found a loaded firearm under the driver's seat in the new offense. That's what's alleged. I know he's coming up to a pack and a prelim on that matter. And obviously that's not what he's admitted, but it does pertain to whether he poses a danger to society, and also having failed his probation, which gave him an opportunity to rehabilitate from the exact same behavior. So frankly, I think the full time is warranted, as Mr. Frazing recommended, with a revocation.
Mr. Carmona, I'll give you the last word. Is there anything you want to tell me?
I just want to apologize to you guys both. Like I didn't want to let you guys down, and dealing with this new case, like I just wanted to go home. You know, like I went out with my mom.
Mr. Carmona? Nope.
Don't say any more about it.
Sorry,
Yeah, he's throwing his mom under the bus on the new case.
I'm not. I just want to apologize to you guys both. I didn't want to let you guys down, and I really tried my hardest to not let you guys down.
All right, thank you. Well, he had this 9mm Ruger 16 round magazine, a loaded live shell in the chamber. Always makes me nervous. Attempted RNO. He got this. I only gave him 2 days in jail. When I defer jail, it makes it a meaningless gesture, unless sometimes the deferred jail actually comes to roost, which a little bit of it did in the last case. I'm going to revoke your probation. There's no sense to continue it. I'll see what happens with the new case. That gun was forfeited. I'm ordering the original 2 days plus 13. It's 15 days. I'm ordering the deferred 180 days, credit 15, leaving 165 days to do. If you are convicted in the other case, it'll be up to that judge whether it's concurrent or not.
What did you do the fines and costs, Your Honor?
I waived them all.
Waived them all? Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Carmona, I guess either me or Judge Pattison will be seeing you in the other case. I'm sorry it came to this, but all right. Thank you. All right, I hope it gets better.
I apologize to you, Dan.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kuhn is here. Did you talk to him?
Yes, sir.
All right, are we ready to go on him?
You would like a hearing, so.
All right, about Tyler Loy.
We canceled has explanations, but he's going to admit the violation.
All right, is he here?
Well, the basic.
All right, yeah, let's bring him in, then we'll talk about Mr. Coon. Probation and sometimes is a gift. In the first case, the probation was more to try to get the restitution paid. In the second case, it was just a flat out generous gift, which didn't go so well. Mr. Lloyd, would you please come forward? This is an old case that goes back to the adage that we have a long memory around here. So go ahead, Mr. Lloyd, have a seat. This is file 163281 SM, People versus Tyler Lee Loy. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Mr. Loy is here with his lawyer, John Bush. This is an old paper file. Mr. Loy was placed on probation on a domestic violence charge, and it didn't go very well. He was sentenced in 2017. Then in June of that year, we had a probation violation because he didn't comply with the terms of the probation, and we lost him. I renewed the warrant a couple times. I did a Google search to see where he was. I think it was at Lovell Street in Elkhart. And then he got arrested in September, and we had an arraignment. He pled not guilty, and the matter was set for today. Let's go back to the original probation violation petition that you failed to report or have any contact since your intake on February 2nd of 2017. You were placed on probation. I don't think we ever saw you again.
That's where there is he would say he came twice or 3 times, but then stopped coming.
All right.
Probably that's going to be his explanation. There was never a probation officer available for him to talk to when he came.
Well, some of this goes back to our friend Gina Wagner,
Yes,
who was had health issues. I think he was here in the hallway a time or two. I'm not sure what happened. At any rate, then we just lost track of him. So is that true, Mr. Lawyer, willing to acknowledge that you did not comply with the terms of your probation?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody threaten you to get you to make that admission?
No,
Or promise you anything?
no.
You understand you could have a hearing on this where it'd have to be established beyond preponderance that you violated the terms of your probation. You understand?
Yeah.
All right. I ordered 14 days jail and deferred 10. You had 4 days jail credit. I lifted the no contact provision, and you were ordered to do the anger management class and do some drug testing and alcohol testing. You said I would discharge at the end of 6 months. I don't think any of that was ever done. None of the classes, none of the testing, none of the payment. And Daniel's recommendation today is that we impose the 10 days of jail. We'll see about that. I did let you out of jail when I did your arraignment. I gave you a PR bond.
I do believe there's been $315 paid at some point.
All right.
Check it this morning.
Mr. Bush, what would you like me to know?
This obviously was not a successful probation. This, and I, to the best of my knowledge, I wasn't involved in this case at the beginning. I certainly don't have an existing file. Mr. Lloyd shares with me that he came 3 times for probation. Every time he was there to talk to somebody, the probation officer wasn't there. He paid money the first 2 times. 3rd time he wanted the court, no, he actually rode his bicycle here. It was a 3-hour ride one way back and forth to try and report. He shares with me at that point, he left a message or is there any way we could do this by remote or do it in Indiana? And he never heard back. I think at that point he moved, so probably the court lost track of him. But interesting circumstances is he's currently a full-time caregiver 24/7 for the victim in this case, who has not been in good health. He's actually compensated by the state of Indiana as her caregiver. She's in bad health. She's currently in the hospital, as a matter of fact, not doing well at all with long-term medical issues. Not his fault or whatever.
Well, that's why I let him out. The irony is that the lady he was accused of assaulting so many years ago, he's now the primary and sole caregiver for.
And in support of that, the victim's mother's in the courtroom today. So supporting my client.
All right. Mr. Loy, what happened? You just gave up and decided to?
No,
Not
what happened,
doing it?
Your Honor, is the first 3 times that I came, I was struggling to get here. And when I had talked to the lady at the desk on my 3rd meeting, I had asked her, could I get it switched to Indiana, or could I get some kind of information on how to get here? Because I was so afraid to fail to get here, because then that would have been a violation. And so she told me to wait on a phone call, or we would send a letter in the mail. And then after, I want to say so many months went by, I can't remember exactly how many months, but so many months had went by. That's when we started looking into getting a new house, because we were moving. I was with my grandmother and she was with her grandmother, because I lived in Indiana, she was in Michigan. So we were trying to get a house together. And so we had ended up buying a house that her grandmother owned in Indiana. So once I bought that house, we just started moving there and fixing it up. And that was right like a year before COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, that was it. The Lowell Street address was from when I was 18. That's why I didn't get that mail. I'm very sorry about that. That's all it is. I just been taking care of her since I got released. And then around 2021, she started getting super bad to where she couldn't even walk anymore. And so it's just 24/7, 7 days a week. I take care of her, the bathroom, everything. I feed her by hand. So that's how it is. I've just been at home 24/7, taking care of her.
She has Guillain-Barré.
It's called Guillain-Barré syndrome. Before that, she had cirrhosis. So she had lost her legs. She would gain them back. And now in about 2020, 2021, they finally diagnosed her with Guillain-Barré syndrome, to where her nervous system attacks her immune system. So where any kind of physical touch hurts, and she can't grab things because it'll hurt her hands. She can't stand because it hurts her feet. If I was to clean her up for the bathroom, that hurts. So that's how it's been since.
All right. Ms. Canfield, you had an opportunity to confer with the complainant's mother. You have a position here.
Prior to speaking to her, my recommendation would have been that he needed to serve his maximum time. I'm hearing a lot of excuses. I moved, I tried, but if you don't update the court with your proper address, and you know that you've been on probation for 8 years now, before you finally appear before the court, that's troublesome to me. And interestingly, I'm very, very sorry. I do have confirmation that Amanda is in the hospital. She is very, very ill. And unfortunately, it's not a good prognosis. But at this point, she is in the hospital. She has a caretaker, but her mother indicates that the defendant assists her as well. I don't know. I mean, my recommendation was going to be the max jail with credit for whatever he served. He just has ignored the court for 8 years. And whether you tried to get it transferred or whatnot, and now your excuse is I didn't get the mail because I moved. It's your responsibility to update your file, the court, and your probation agent with your new address. It's probable that it could have been transferred at some point and things could have been completed. But the goal here to rehabilitate him from this behavior, it didn't occur. And I'm very sorry about Amanda's condition, but I'm reading the original report. She was punched multiple times in the face and he started to strangle her. And the officer noted swelling and redness to her face and a split lip when he took her original report. And I mean, it's certainly a very tough position to have him needed by the family, one of whom he originally injured to be on probation in the first place. I really think that the jail is deserved, but there is an extenuating circumstance that he's apparently needed, not for Amanda, but by her mother at this point, because Amanda's being cared for by the medical staff.
Sometimes there's not a good answer to the question. The question is, what do I do with him? And there's not a good answer. Way back when, at the time of the victim impact statement, she was minimizing, and it was certainly in his camp. She wanted it to be over with. She wanted to get her family back together. She minimized the nature of her injuries, but she wrote me a long, thoughtful letter. And she wanted him back. So I don't know whether I rehabilitated him or not. I guess part of his rehabilitation is he's been his 24/7 caregiver. Difficult, hardcore caregiving. So I'm going to revoke the probation. He did pay $325, which I think we took out of a bond, and it's no deferral. He's going to lose the deferral. So after all these years, it's going to show up on your record. I'm going to order 5 days credit, 5 days. The 4 you did at the front end, and the other day you did here. When you were here in August, I believe, or early September, she was not in the hospital yet. So you've been her caregiver for several years. You've been gone for 9 years, which, as I said, I have a long memory. I've reviewed this file several times over the years, but I'm just gonna let it go. She needs you. Your wife's mother needs you. You haven't gotten in any more trouble. You got picked up by accident coming back into Michigan. And this will show on your record, but I'm going to give you credit for the day that you served. And it would be a punishment to your wife and her mother if I were to put you back in jail and just make their circumstance even worse. So you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
We're actually 4 for 4 here, so you're free to go. Mr. Kuhn, would you come up and have a seat? Good afternoon, sir. Are you Ashton James Kuhn?
Yes, sir, Mr. Honor.
And we've met, but I need to identify you for the record. Let's go back to square one. This is file 241568 SD. You got pulled over on August 21st of 2024 at about 11 o'clock at night, M60 and Hess Road outside of Mendon. You were charged with operating while intoxicated and failing to stop in an assured clear distance. Your blood alcohol was 0.15. Plea offer was related to impaired driving. You pled to impaired driving and the matter was set for sentencing. Find the judgment. You were given what we call a timeout probation. You got 12 months probation, which could have been completed in 6 months. 2 days jail, credit 2 days. Or did you do the victim impact panel? No drugs, no alcohol, and substance abuse treatment if indicated. Daniel Frazine was appointed to handle this matter. He's filed a probation violation petition alleging that you violated your probation. One, you failed to not violate any criminal law of any unit of government. Two, you failed to pay your fines and costs. Three, you failed to abstain from the use of alcohol and drugs or test on demand. And four, you failed to participate in treatment as directed. I think you were here on August 13th for your arraignment. It took that long to get this set. Yes, it did. You have a new drinking driving charge from June of 2025 in Three Rivers. And that in part is the basis for this violation. Mr. Frazine's report shows that we had some struggles getting our testing done and our treatment done. And then you got this new arrest. As I mentioned earlier, it's always an issue regarding a admission and a probation violation when the other case is pending. Mr. George, you represent him on the new case as well?
I don't know that, I checked the court's website today. I don't know that it's been authorized yet, has it?
Yes.
Has it? Has he been arraigned on that yet?
I'm not showing a case number yet, Your Honor, so it may be that he's not arraigned yet. It was authorized by my office on August 26th.
Oh my gosh. Could we find Ashton Coon's new operating while intoxicated ticket? I think he also got a note. What was the date of the offense in that one, Daniel? Do you know?
I have 6/18.
So I thought he got a no proof insurance on April. All right. So let's further discuss this, Mr. Coon. Daniel, his recommendation to the court was, revoke your probation and impose 4 days of jail. We haven't been doing very well regarding this probation. And then if we need to do something, and if you do get convicted in the new case, we'll deal with that. I don't even know if it would even be a sobriety court case or what. Mr. George, what does your client wish to do?
I've gone over the petition with my client, and at this point, he wants to have a hearing on the petition.
All right. The new charge contains a couple of bond violation conditions. One, not violate any law of any unit of government. Two, don't drink any alcohol. According to the information that Daniel had, you got arrested on June 18th doing donuts in your vehicle, and you had a 0.167 blood alcohol level. So that violates, don't violate any law of any unit of government, and don't drink any alcohol. The problem is that case is still pending. And you did come in later and advise Daniel of the arrest. And he tried to get you set up for testing at the day reporting center. And then I'm still hoping someone is trying to find that new citation on Ashton Coon. And I hope it hasn't been in our system since August. I will be greatly embarrassed. Hopefully they're working on it.
Your Honor, in looking at the misdemeanor complaint and warrant packet prepared by my office, it was charged as an operating while intoxicated second offense.
I just found the complaint was just brought to me today by the officer, so I'll get it in the system.
Okay.
And an open container. In a
So we didn't have it till August. We just got it today. So I'm not sure what happened. All right, she's gonna open it and bring it out.
Your Honor, I think it's sometimes just the cycle of the court officers for the departments when they can get here.
To sign it. All right, Mr. Faison, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Coon, would you raise yours?
sir.
You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
In Jesus' name, amen.
All right. Absent the new charge, let's talk about what your other basis for filing this probation violation petition was.
Your Honor, may I inquire?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Faison, are you a probation agent with the St. Joseph County District Court?
I am.
And did you have Ashton Kuhn on your probation caseload?
I did.
When was he placed on probation?
10/28/2024.
Did you read to him the terms and conditions of probation?
I did.
Did he indicate he understood those?
He did.
Did he have any questions about any of those terms?
He may have, I would have answered them at the time.
All right. Was one of those Article 1 failing or not violating any criminal law of any unit of government?
Yes.
Was Mr. Kuhn able to comply with that article?
No.
What did he do that violated that article?
He got another offense charged with him for a drunk driving, and his chemical breath test on that, according to the report, was a 167 and a 155, and he had open bottle in the vehicle.
How did you obtain that information?
He actually came in and told me before I found out from the police officers that he was drinking and driving. He was doing something really stupid. Apologized for it. I had a very frank conversation with him on 6/24. I let him know how another drug driving offense would affect him. It could possibly end up with a 3 to 5 year suspension. He became extremely agitated. And I walked out of our conversation and left the basement floor and went. And I basically didn't hear from him again until he called on 7/24, but I was out in the office to take a phone call.
All right. So it's my understanding then that Mr. Kuhn, the defendant, admitted drinking and admitted driving with alcohol in his system.
That is correct.
And did you have an Article 5 that he needed to pay all of the fines and costs as ordered by the court?
That is correct. And as of this morning, when I checked it, there was 0 paid.
All right. As Article 8 and 10 are failing to abstain from your allegation is that he failed to abstain from the use of alcohol and drugs or submit to a test. What evidence do you have that he violated those?
Well, the police report for the new charge is admission to me, and I did attempt to put him on a 1 time a week testing at the day reporting center. However, on August 15th, he went in to meet with them to do their intake with them and sign the appropriate paperwork. He told him he would not sign it without his attorney present and never returned and never called me.
So you wanted the defendant on weekly testing, but he failed to comply with initiating that service?
That is correct.
In Article 9, does that say that you are to participate in treatment as recommended?
Yes, he was to get a substance abuse assessment, and to my knowledge, he hasn't had that. And he basically, most of our conversations was he didn't think he needed any help and he didn't want to participate.
Are you gonna rate him on it? Okay.
All right. So I'm sorry, you wanted him to do a substance abuse assessment and any recommended treatment, and he told you he didn't need it and wasn't going to undergo it?
Yes, I knew there was obviously a possible alcohol issue here, but I also wanted him to get that even more so for some suspected mental health issues that I thought were underlying issues as well.
Thank you. As a defendant, I know it's not within here about whether he was reporting regularly, but did he keep in communication?
He was reporting regularly up until he got the drunk driving, and really, he could get easily angered when I approached him trying to help him with getting into services and stuff. He said other people had tried and suggested getting services. He didn't want any help. He didn't need help. He didn't like meds. But he had called and reported. I just was having a hard time getting him into the treatment, which was the next big pivotal for me with him. And then once he got the drunk driving, we had that very frank conversation how sobriety court might be his only avenue for a license for the next 3 to 5 years, and going over what that might entail. he got very upset, in my opinion, was because it was gonna be a very laid out, structured, treatment oriented program. And that's what I think happened. And that's why I believe he walked out of our conversation and left.
If I may ask you, Mr. Frazine, in addition to the defendant's statements and admissions to drinking and driving, did you have any other evidence regarding that particular alleged violation?
Of the drinking,
Correct.
other than the police report and his, admission to me about that, drinking on that offense, no.
Did you reach out then to the law enforcement agency that arrested him?
I got the police report. I believe that the officer called me on this, but I don't have my notes in front of me, so I can't say definitively, but I did get the police report, and review that. And I had several conversations with your officers along the way. They told me that it was the, department that was holding up the charging. That's why it took so long, but what that was and why I did not know.
All right. And with respect to the blood alcohol of 0.167, did you obtain that out of the police report?
That is correct.
Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. George, you have any questions?
I do. Dan, when was Ashton placed on probation?
10/28/24.
Okay, and you do an initial intake with him, is that right?
That is correct.
And you go over what the terms of the probation are. Is that
That is
true?
correct.
So at that time, he had, how much was assessed by the court in fines and costs?
That is correct.
How much was assessed by the court in fines and costs?
Total of 1,000, if he stayed for the, whole time, which I tell them, if you do well, you'll be able to half that. So, but the whole sum was $1,442.
Okay, and it's your testimony that he hasn't paid anything to this date, is that right?
As of this morning, you put the computer, yes.
When you do that initial intake with him, do you go over a payment plan, or what do you advise a probation or when they come in for that?
I
initial
let them know that, back in the old days, you couldn't get off probation until that was paid in full. But now, as long as you show a concerted effort making regular payments, and typically we want at least 3 consecutive monthly payments, we can set up a payment plan, and you can actually get discharged as long as you complete the other tenets of the, or terms of the probation, and you don't violate, or doing it would cause a revocation or something like that.
Okay. And throughout the course of the probation, was employment an issue?
He mostly had a job. Off the top of my head, I don't have that here. I do know I requested a pay stub from him back in March of this year. I don't know if I ever got it.
But didn't he work at Jones Farm?
I know he worked at a couple different places, but I can't remember much more about that. I do know that as of the last few months, he was not working,
Okay,
according to what he told me.
so you, at least at the beginning of the probation, your testimony is that you believe that he did have an ability.
I do.
Okay. And I note on your report that you indicate that he had missed a substance abuse assessment in Prime for Life. Is that right?
For the Prime for Life, I got in, I think, the end of August. I did get a cert for that finally.
Okay. Was that from Mr. Kuhn or was that from Pivotal?
I believe that was from Mark Olson from Pivotal.
Okay. So has there been a release?
He may have sent me a copy as well. Sometimes they both send it to me, but I can't remember.
Okay. So has there been a release that's been signed to get information from Pivotal, or was that just provided to you?
That was just emailed me, the completion certificate.
Was the Prime for Life something that was specifically ordered as part of the judgment of sentence?
I don't have that on me. It is a very standard order, but I don't have that. I don't have a copy of the judgment in front of me, so I don't know for sure, but we are allowed to add that as we see needed to.
Okay. And the reason I ask is, was that something that was ordered as the judgment, or was that something that was recommended after a substance abuse assessment?
Definitely wasn't after the substance abuse assessment, because I went through, there is no substance abuse assessment on file or in the notes.
Okay. So on file means that you have access to the Pivotal resources that.
And I would have either spoken to a therapist or they would have emailed me the copy of this.
So you've been able to confirm through Pivotal that he has not completed a substance abuse assessment?
As much as I can. Sometimes they will tell me if there's no RI, they will say I can't confirm or deny at this time, and I don't remember what the conversation was, but I don't have one. And I do have notes that I spoke to him and reminded him several times throughout the probation that I needed that.
Okay. Do you know that if he's engaged in any type of mental health treatment at this point?
At this point, I am unaware of.
Okay. Is it the probationer's responsibility to pay for the test when they go in to test?
Unless they're working with Pivotal. And that's why I explained that in suggest heavily if they can make it work to work with Pivotal because they have grant money. And up until 3 weeks ago, they had enough money to pay for most of it, but last month in September is they quite often run out of money and they have to pay for it for that month. And then they get renewed in October, so.
Was Mr. Kuhn ever not able to test? From your knowledge, was he ever not able to test because he couldn't pay for the test?
Do believe that there are a couple issues in that early on that said that he had no money to test. And again, on 3/5/25, defendant was reminded about getting into service for Pivotal. He also said he had no money to test. So hence I would have said, well, let's get around that. Here's how we can get around that.
Okay. Do you know how much it would be to test if somebody wasn't engaged at that time?
Back at that time, I can't remember if it was 35 or 40, but it's now 46. I've had a couple increases in this.
And do you know what the documentation is that DRC wants an individual to sign that Mr. Kuhn had an issue with?
No, but I know it's a similar sort of intake process like we would do.
Okay.
Just saying it, this is how it works. We will call you, you will, we'll call you. If we don't get hold of you, we'll leave a message up to call us back and you have to test that day and you'll be responsible for fines if it's not covered.
And that happened in August of this year that you wanted to get him into.
Well, I've been trying for a little while, but when he actually showed up, my email from DRC is dated 8/15
Of this year?
of this year.
Okay. And on your report, it ends with June 26th, is that right? Is the last kind of entry on the report, on the status report that you have provided as part of the
yes.
violation?
Yes, I did have a conversation, I think 7/9 and 7/24, I have that he called, but I was out of the office.
Okay.
So I really didn't speak with him then, but so 7/9 would have been the last conversation I would have had with him.
So as Ms. Canfield has said, he has generally reported as.
Up
directed,
until
is that right?
this offense, yes. Things
Okay.
went south after that.
Things went south in June?
Yeah, after a conversation on June 24th.
Okay. But then he reached out to you a couple times in July, but you weren't there. Is that right?
One time I was and the other time I was not.
Okay. And then was there contact? I know you had the contact in August as it related to the documents at DRC. Is that right?
Yes, and there was a couple times I tried to call and leave messages or his phone was shut off or his phone was shut off.
Did his number change at some point?
I can only go by what they give me, so I don't know if it changed or if it's a lot of times people, it'll not go through because they haven't paid their minutes.
Okay. I don't have anything additional. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Kuhn, you wanted to have a hearing on this. I'm not exactly clear why, but you're under oath. Mr. George, does your client wish to speak to me?
Based on Article 1 and the allegations in there, I would advise my client not to testify at this hearing.
All right. You have a right to speak. You also have a right not to speak, but anything you say could implicate you in your pending case. So with that in mind, do you wish to remain silent on this subject?
No.
You wish to tell me?
Yes, Honor.
All right, against your lawyer's advice, do you wish to tell me what you want me to know?
Yes.
All right, what do you want me to know?
Speech here. No disrespect to Dan or anybody in this courtroom. I did everything that you have asked me the last time I came in this room. The only thing I pride that I had not done was the payment. I told you I was homeless and stressed out. I am under emotional stress with money and financial help. I do not have a home, been on the streets for a year. That's not the point, but forgive me for my wording, it's not correct, like being accurate and precise. I have the strength to say this because I'm honoring me and my family's name and God's name. The last time we had this courtroom, Dan actually pulled me aside. He said before this, he said, I need you to come to the basement with me. Next thing you know, I'm all soft and going out and ready for Mr. Tim and getting my paperwork from Mr. Tim. Next thing you know, I see Mr. Dan talking to my grandfather, and it looked pretty sketchy. I walked in back prior into the room where there's a TV and a camera where I'm not advised if it's on or not. But this man sabotaged my name, disrespected me, said I'm never going to be successful, never going to be this, never be that. I don't have precise wording to remember because I try not to because it stresses me out. And
What, is this at the time of your original plea or more recently when you came?
that was the last court case we've had together.
All right, when I did your arraignment?
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
And just to get off my chest, he pulled me on the other side, kind of stood over me, kind of got a little spit of his when he's talking to me, and I stood there and stood firm, and I'm trying to let it go right now because it's not irritating, but why I'm thinking about it is because this man was saying, "Are you gonna get mad? Are you gonna get mad?" And it frustrates me. I'm emotional. I'm stressed out. I looked up to this man. I'm not gonna lie. I looked up to this man. I talked to this man for 5 hours about God. The very first time I've ever talked to this man. I talk to him every time. He's always on vacation. Always say, "How you doing?" And I took it to a personal offense. When the last time I talked to him, I looked into him. He was like, "Who are you? What's your name?" And I took it personal, I took it personal saying, "I thought you knew me, Mr. Dan." And he said, I don't know you. And he kind of looked at me like scum.
Well, he didn't know this version. None of this rises to a defense. Let's back up. You rear-ended a guy on M60 when you were
12
drunk.
months prior, 1 year.
Very near to where more than one fatal accident, very near where you hit this guy. There was another fatal accident within maybe a half a mile of there.
Yes, sir. Am I able to-
Stop. So that's serious stuff. You almost killed somebody and yourself. And there was uncertainty about whether you were trying to kill yourself. Your girlfriend and her mother had a concern that what you were doing was trying to commit suicide. We had a young girl this week, she wanted to commit suicide. She pulled out in front of a semi and seriously injured the semi driver. So he's physically debilitated, but she didn't die. So she's charged with reckless driving causing a serious injury, which is a 5-year felony. So let's assume you were just drunk and not trying to kill yourself, that you passed out or fell asleep and you rear-ended this guy. That merits court supervision. Dan and I had several discussions about you. You are young. You are a man of faith. You were repentant about what happened. And we were going to try to do this probation. I think Dan was frustrated with you. And then this stuff happens. You're driving like a fool in the parking lot of the Old Three Rivers Hospital, drunk, doing donuts. You think no one's going to notice that? You're a 0.18. I'm embarrassed that it took from June 11th, June 17th to now. You went to jail. This is an old Dave Marvin holdover. They wanted a complaint. You went to jail. You sobered up. They let you go, and you didn't get an arraignment date. So some time later, the officer submits it to the prosecutor's office. There's no blood test. They're not waiting for anything. You took a breath test that night. If this had been an OUL first offense, it would have just been dealt with. Anyway, I don't like this process. Ms. Davis inherited it. This isn't the way I did it. At any rate, so you get out. A week later, you did tell Dan. At some point, it gets into the prosecutor's office and they authorize it on August 26th. So it sits there for a while until the officer came and swore to it today. So we just got the complaint today. So I'm going to arraign you on your new charge here in a minute. But so Daniel discussed with you sobriety court. And he told you the cold hard fact that if you get 2 convictions of drunk driving, your driver's privileges are going to be revoked. meaning no driving for at least 5 years until you get the Secretary of State to reinstate your license. The only way to get your license back is to go through a sobriety court program. I don't think you're ready for a sobriety court program. I think there's some underlying mental health and depression issues. And maybe I'd be depressed too if I was homeless, didn't have where to go, and had relationship problems and no job. But the answer to that problem isn't getting drunk and doing donuts in the parking lot of the old hospital. So right now we're just dealing with the probation violation issue. And then in a minute, I will arraign you on the new case. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
So, so prior with everything that you said that I have not done, because you have not known, I have done everything that was asked before I came into court and before then prior. Though I do not know the officer's name directly, but I have been here in the courthouse, done the first thing that was set up to go, serve my 3 days in jail.
Yes.
And then I have done beyond the point, not for the satisfaction of the systematic government, but for God and family and friends. I have stood tall, and I'm a sober man. I'm a clean man. I'm an honorable man. I've been through trials and struggles. That's none of the business. It's truth of my testimony. I'm very clean. I'm just emotional distress only on financial stress, for I am homeless, and I'm here to try to take care of my dog.
Your grandpa brings you here, and I always appreciate that. Who lives on Hutchinson Road?
So my mother and my father. My dog's in the back seat of my truck that we live in right now, with water and clean. I do not live with my family as a normal man and a humble man. I don't want to be around family because I'm stressed out and don't want to lean on somebody that I can't lean on, because may someone not know the strength of it. So I rather keep to myself. Humble.
What's your status with the girlfriend?
Status with girlfriend, unknown.
Are you not with her now?
I cannot say for that for right now, for those personal relationships that I'm working out with God.
All right. When did you last work at the Jones farm?
Joe's farm. I have worked there. Great company. I've worked there for a summer. I'm not very known of months. I don't keep track of this. No, I don't care for it. I worked there, and after that, I was out on the streets. I lived in my Suburban.
All right, but this was summer we just had. When did you last work somewhere for pay?
Bayer. Actually, the hat that I have is on the seat back there. I've worked for Bayer. I filed into unemployment.
What is Bayer?
Bayer is that place we talked about last time, that big facility on the right side. It's a world company.
Oh, Bayer.
Yes, sir.
All right, and what did you do there?
What I did there was test plants.
All right, and when did you last work there?
Unknown. Like I said, I do not keep track of dates, but I don't believe in that.
This is now October. We just went through September. Did you work anywhere in the month of September?
I can't recall because I don't remember dates. Because I just don't believe in it.
How'd you like if they put you in jail and they forgot what day it was, and you got 4 days, and
Unemployment.
84 days later they let you out? I didn't think those questions were that hard, but you're living in your truck. Where do you get money?
Where I get money?
Yeah.
Family, as much as I can. I ask for the bare minimum. I do not have the confidence to ask somebody for money. But that's not my place.
Well, the fact that you don't have a job and the fact that you don't have any money are related. If you had a job, you'd have some money. But, all right, I find that the defendant has, by a preponderance, violated the terms of his probation. He acknowledged that he drank and drove and got arrested. And that was the #1 condition of the probation. That's not a corpus delicti issue because Mr. Friesen has independent evidence that the defendant drove from the police. I don't know what you were doing, and I don't want to talk about that case yet. But you're struggling all right, and part of your struggle is a mental health struggle. And I sure would like to get some addressing of that. I find that the defendant failed to pay any fines and costs. However, he doesn't have any money, but he didn't pay any money. He failed to abstain from the use of drugs and alcohol. Is a violation by his own admission. He failed to participate in treatment, although he tried to do some of the things we ask him to do. So I'm going to revoke this probation, Mr. Kuhn. Where is your dog right now?
In my truck.
Can somebody take care of your dog?
No.
I'm not lock your dog in the truck for 4 days. You're going to jail for 4 days.
Grandfather, can you take him? Take her? I mean, call mother. You better take care of Raven.
I was supposed to be leaving yesterday.
Well, just call mother, Mike. That's my dog. You know?
We'll make sure your dog is cared for.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
By any means, is this to hire up to the Supreme Court of the breaking of the constitutional rights of freedom of speech and the freedom of my name of protecting and sabotaging. And as the foremost, that is everything recorded through everything that's there. It's justified in my actions, in my honor, and the way I speak. I am not irritable, nor am I angry. I'm disappointed and stressed out, emotional, financially, and insecure. I'm protected by the Constitution rights, and I was sabotaging my name. I'm sabotaging my emotional distress, which is a lawsuit, and it's forbidden in the Constitution and in the court systematically.
Well, I agree with you, Mr. Kuhn.
Yes,
You are
sir.
sabotaging your name and sabotaging you are sabotaging your name, your reputation.
Negative. Forgive me,
And-
Your Honor. I have freedom of speech that I can stand in the honor of God, for God is above all, which is a freedom of my religion, which I'm stood by and protected by the Constitution of my rights. This is a breaking of the constitutional
All right,
rights back
all right.
and
I
forth.
don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I think we've got some significant mental health issues here. I'm going to order. The probation is revoked. I'm going to waive your fines and costs. Daniel's recommendation was 4 days jail, and I think it's appropriate. You crashed into some guy and nearly killed him. You did a poor job on your probation. You got arrested for very foolish behavior in June. I do regret it took from June to October to get the thing to arraign you. But we're going to address that in a minute. I'm going to get you a lawyer on that.
Your Honor,
Yes.
we haven't run this before, but his grandfather said that the dog doesn't like him. I'm guessing he's afraid of it and or poses a risk to him, so he doesn't want to help with that, and which I understand.
What
But
kind
we
of
might
dog?
have to get, we might have to get that pound or the.
All right,
animal
or
control.
either I have to let him turn himself in.
I was thinking maybe we just get the keys so they don't have to like break the window to get the dog.
My keys are unlocked, and you can call PD.
What kind of dog is it?
She's a black lab German shepherd, the sweetest girl. She only barks, but she don't bite.
Well,
You can call PD, Three Rivers. They'll take care of her, please, for the love of God, because they're the greatest.
Well,
people
I'm
I've
not
met.
gonna leave your dog locked in the car outside.
Just one.
For 4 days. Well, let's set this aside for a minute. I'm going to arraign you on your new arrest. You got arrested in Three Rivers on June 17th for operating while intoxicated in the parking lot of the Old Three Rivers Hospital. It's alleged that that is a second or subsequent offense because you have this conviction in file 25 or 241568. Making that a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. And it requires that your license be revoked. Mr. George is here to make sure we're complying with your rights, but he's not your attorney in this case. I'll show that you plead not guilty. I'm going to appoint an attorney. I'm gonna set an attorney pretrial for November 7th, 2025 at 8:30. You've already been arrested. I'm gonna set a $500 PR bond. So that's the new case, and I apologize that it took so long to get from there to here. But the good news is you didn't get arrested out on the street. You happened to be here for court, and I took care of the arraignment. So let's go back to the other case. I have found that you violated your probation. And as of this minute, you're still on the probation. I'm going to order 4 days jail. We're going to have to schedule it. I don't want your dog to be left out here alone. You're going to have to make arrangements to board your dog. I'm going to start the jail at 7 o'clock on Friday night. I'm not doing very well by you. What I intended to do was put you in jail right now, call our mental health liaison to meet with you and see what's going on. But I'm going to have another crack at you in the context of the new case. Your probation is continued until further notice of the court. Because I want no alcohol conditions, and I'm not making them part of the bond, I'm making them part of this. Probation is continued. You're sentenced to 4 days, credit 0, leaving 4 days to be scheduled as a weekend. Starting at 7 p.m. this Friday night, which would be October 3rd. Can you find someplace to board your dog by Friday night?
Yes, sir.
7 p.m. As I said earlier, sometimes there's no good answer to a problem. Mr. Kuhn, this is not meant to be an insult or demeaning, but I think you need some mental health treatment. We tried to get some. You're very stressed. You're living in your truck. You're not working. The person primarily responsible for your well-being is you. This isn't somebody visited this on you. You're making very poor life choices. I think some of that has to do with the status of your mental health. So it isn't like somebody did this to you. You're doing it to yourself. You've estranged yourself from your family. You can't keep a job. That's not healthy behavior to be living in a truck with your dog. It's about to get real cold. Your dog deserves better than that. So I need to get in here and figure out what's going on. The other issue is whether you'll ever have a driver's license or not. I don't think in your current state you're ready to do sobriety court. Friday, October 3rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. Report for 4 days jail. Now, if you don't report, it violates your probation. I could just give you the rest of the 93 days. As soon as we do this 4 days and get to the other thing, I'm inclined to revoke his probation. I'm not going to charge any additional money. I'm not even going to make you report I just want you to have a no alcohol condition. And at some point, if I can get the opportunity, I'm gonna order some mental health evaluation. If it weren't for your dog, you'd go right now. That's not your grandfather's obligation to care for your dog. And I don't want the dog to go to the dog jail, which we've done more than a few times. There was one guy who, I won't say his name, but he got arrested often. And his dog was so comfortable, they just opened the door and the dog would go get in the patrol car. He'd go to jail and the dog would go to the pound, and then he'd get out of jail and go get his dog. I think the dog had more sense than he did, but I think he and the dog may have both passed. All right, you got it. You got to show up for jail at 7 o'clock Friday night. You got 4 days to do. You're still on probation. You got a new case where I've appointed a lawyer for you. You're going to need to go out and get the paperwork for that. The court date on that is November 7th. I'd like to get you to a better place than where you are right now. So I'm gonna have to have the court officer take you out. Here's your notice to appear at the jail. Oh, I gave it to you. And I've arranged on the new case. That's the new case. This is the old case. Thank you. Daniel, stick around for a minute. All right, this is, this goes with the old case. All right, I'm gonna be seeing you on November 7th. We'll see how you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ron.
Thank you.
The court will call the case of Hannah Realty and Property Management versus Lita Boone. Case number 25C 3645.
Okay, I'm the owner of the property, and Michael is my property manager.
Yes, I'm here.
Everyone, please state their names.
Joseph Kuram, owner.
Lita Boone.
Thank you.
Michael Hannah.
Thank you. All right. This lawsuit, first of all, I'm going to deal with the legal issue that we have here. This lawsuit is filed in the name of Hannah Realty and Property Management.
Yes.
LLC, is that correct?
Say that again, Your Honor.
Limited liability company?
Yes, I have the owner on that notice there.
Yes, I didn't ask you that, sir. What I asked is that a limited liability company?
Yes, Inc.
Is it incorporated?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in any event, neither of those are either of you attorneys.
No.
All right. So a company cannot be represented by an individual. You have to have legal counsel in order to proceed with this action.
Okay, well, the owner's on that notice as well, so he can do it himself, can he?
If you want to remove Hannah Realty and Property Management as a plaintiff in this case, and he wants to sue in his individual capacity, he can do that. But right now, that's not what we have.
So it means that I am not party to the case. I'm the owner.
I understand who you are. You've all said that about 3 times. The reality of the situation still remains the same. So right now, this action is not properly before me.
So we should refile in my name. That is what you're saying.
I cannot give you legal advice. You should consult an attorney like I just said.
Your Honor, I went through this before when I was in court, and the judge said long as the owner was on the notice from the beginning, that it was okay to presume.
Then I guess you should go back before that judge, because this judge just said no.
Okay.
Well, we don't determine which judge we go to.
You're correct, you don't. That is my point. There is but one judge of this court, and that's me. So, do you have any other questions?
No, you're saying that he has to file it himself. That's what you're saying.
Again, I cannot give you legal advice.
Okay.
So the other part of your problem is that the defendant is saying that you have not properly calculated the amounts of rents that she has paid. Did you provide them, Ms. Boone, with a copy of the document that you filed on the court?
No, ma'am.
You need to do that. You can't file anything with the court that you do not file and provide to them.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was misunderstood.
Okay. So do you want an adjournment for the Hannah Realty and Property Management so you can consult counsel?
Say that again, Your Honor.
Do you want an adjournment to talk to an attorney?
Yes.
All right.
It's absolutely nonsense.
I'm sorry, what did you say, sir?
I said this is absolutely different from what we
No,
had
what
the
you
first
said
time.
is this is absolutely nuts, and I don't appreciate it. So unless you want to be found in contempt of court, you should watch what you say in court.
Thank you, madam.
Do the three of you want to talk to see if you can reach some resolution? And ma'am, do you have a copy of the document so you can send it to them today?
I do not have a copy of the document. I can reprint, and the only thing I can't reprint is my letter that I wrote.
I'm in agreement with all three of us talking. If we could do that, get some type of resolvement.
I'd rather not. I'd rather just go to court like I asked you, Mike, because it's a lot of things that the judge need to see what our receipts was going on and other things that's going on with us.
Ma'am, I'm going to be very clear with you also. I am going to require that the two of or the three of you talk.
Okay.
See if you can reach a resolution.
Okay.
The whole thing that you're talking about in terms of receipts, you don't have it outlined in a way that I can figure it out. So all of you should talk and figure out if there's a discrepancy in the ledger versus what they're saying that you owe. So have that conversation and maybe we can figure out if there's a mistake or if there's not. And if there's not a mistake, they'll at least be able to advise their counsel in terms of where in fact they think that there is a discrepancy and why that discrepancy exists.
Okay.
So, do you want 1 week or 2 weeks to speak with someone from legal counsel, Mr. Hannah and Mr. Karan?
1 week. We need to get this resolved as quickly as possible.
All right. If you come back here without counsel or this file being in the proper format, it will be dismissed next time. October 8th, 2025, and I will do it at the same time.
Thank you.
And that'll be 1:15 p.m. via Zoom. We're gonna put the three of you in a breakout room to see if you can reach some resolution. And ma'am, you were advised via the video last week that you should consult legal counsel, and I don't know if you've done that either.
I tried, ma'am. I did. I tried.
Well, I'm just putting everybody on notice. You won't get additional adjournments for that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. The court will call the matter of Timberlands versus Derek Harris, case number 25C-3516.
Derek Harris here. Good afternoon, Judge. Christopher Asphalt, 53129, on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asphalt. Good afternoon, Mr. Harris. How are you today?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
I'm good. All right. we're here in this third hearing for non-payment of rent.
Yes.
And it appears that you had filed a notice of rental application for assistance. What
Yes,
is,
ma'am.
well, first of all, Mr. Asphalt, have the two of you talked this afternoon?
Yes, we have, Judge, and he's advised me that his application is no longer pending and that we have reached the terms of a consent judgment.
Thank you. You may proceed.
There's currently rent to retain $3,738, costs $175 for a total of $3,913. The defendant is to pay that amount on or before October 13, or a writ can issue. He's given me permission to sign his name to a consent judgment with these terms and file it with the court.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Harris, sir, are you aware that you have a right to have a hearing as to the amount of rent that is owed?
Yes.
And you're going to waive that right and agree that you owe $3,913?
I am currently aware that I am 3 months behind with court fees and everything, so that number sounds about accurate.
All right. So, having waived the hearing, then you're going to enter into a judgment for $3,913 that you have to pay by October 13th?
Yes.
All right. If you don't pay it by that date, what happens is they're going to come back in here and ask me for a writ of eviction, giving you only 24 hours notice to move. Do you understand that part?
Completely understand.
All right. So understanding all of that, sir, I will sign this document and you will have 3 business days from the date I sign it, to petition the court to set it aside for a really good reason. It is rare that I find that, but you do have the right to file such a petition. Okay?
Understood.
Any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, then you're all set. Have a great day.
You have a better one.
Thank you. I need that.